Hello friends, I am Baltmatrix and today we are taking a look at some Ultra Lads, or Ultramen. These figures came to me from my friends over at SirToys.com. They included both of these figures in a recent purchase. Now, these are from two completely different sublines. This here on the left is Ultraman Rosso from Ultraman Rubu, or R/B, and it transforms into a motorcycle. There is also another motorcycle transforming Ultraman. And I'm going to show you the little pamphlet that it comes with. Yep, this is it. These are the only two. And you could buy both of these guys over at SirToys.com. Now, this one over here is Ultraman Zero, and he comes or is part of the Ultraman Airforce. So yeah, if you couldn't guess, this one turns into a motorcycle, that one turns into a helicopter, and they transform in completely different ways. This one's all-inclusive here on the left, and this is more of a parts former here on the right. So let's go ahead and look at these figures individually. From bottom to top, the colors are red, silver, a little bit of copper, black, and yeah, that's pretty much it. A little bit of blue there on the chest, and then the head sculpt. And I gotta say, the head sculpt is fantastic. Of course, Ultraman isn't the most expressive of tokusatsu heroes, but yeah, this thing works really well. It's also really, really well painted. The whole figure. It's just really well done. Hasbro could actually learn a few things. Posability on Rosso is pretty good. Head does move up and down and side to side a little bit. There's a ball joint. There's a ratchet joint in the shoulder, and it's got plenty of movement in and out. Bend at the elbow. Fists do rotate. No torso articulation. Legs can, well, there are a series of hinge joints and not a ton of posability there. Knee bends 90 degrees, and there's some toe articulation for the transformation. And that's kind of moot because the figure can't stand up. It flat out can't stand up on its own. You can get the legs split a little bit, and if you put the arms out, it might be able to, but the backpack and the butt pack are so heavy that it just falls flat on its back. There's nothing I've been able to do about it, but the figure looks great. It's also a complete knockoff of Kamen Rider Axel. Also reminds me of a weird Psykill. So transformation is super simple. When the figure came to me, his fanny pack here was popped off. It just pops right back on. Take the fanny pack, slide it all the way down, come to the backpack, and gently extend the backpack out. That will allow you to flip the whole thing over the figure's head, and then gently push it down and snap it into place. Turn it so that the top fender is pointing towards the top. Come to the head, and then push the head as far up as it will go. Slide the wheel back in. Bring the hands up to grab the little handlebars that are sticking out to the sides. And if you've ever transformed a Kamen Rider Axel figure, you know what's happening next. Feet get pointed straight down. Turn the legs so that the wheels are inside the legs, and then just situate them so that the top and the bottom can combine, like this. And then bend the knees and bring the legs as far down as they will go, which is not very far, and that's it. That's its vehicle mode. The front wheel rolls with no problem. Back wheel doesn't really move all that well. It's really tight. And the effect of the motorcycle, personally, I'm not finding it too convincing. I would prefer if the legs could come up forward and the wheel here actually stayed down. If you put any pressure on it, it just kind of falls forward. It's not bad by any stretch, but it's not great. It's a very haphazard vehicle mode, and so is Kamen Rider Axel. Now, there is one thing that is interesting. There is this little wheel back here. What you are supposed to do is point it so that this tiny little wheel is pointing down so you can roll it a lot easier, but even then, it's not great. Now let's take a look at Zero. The color scheme is very similar. Black, red, blue, silver, and kind of off cream for the chest, but the whole figure has a much more Gundam vibe to it, or even Transformers vibe that I like a lot more. Posability is not great. Head does turn a little bit. Arms do move. Arms and elbows, fists, no torso articulation. Legs are static. You're not going to get much posability, though the knees bend oddly enough, and so do the toes. But yeah, it's pretty much just going to stand where he be. I like the look of the figure, though. I really, really like the look of the figure. It's cool, and it holds together well. Both of these figures feel good. That's one thing I forgot to mention, is both figures feel really good. They feel very much like toys, but in that good way, that good, solid, chunky way. Now, Zero's transformation is quite literally ripping the figure apart completely. So, start off with his shield, pull that off, pull his arms off, pull the front of his chest off, pull the legs off, and pull the feet off, until you're left with just this mass pile of parts. And this is going to form the main part of the helicopter. So we flip the landing gear down, and then we just kind of start attaching bits to this. To start off, we're going to take the head, push the head down into his chest as far as it'll go, which isn't far. Turn it upside down, and then this whole section is going to peg into the front of the helicopter. And that's really easier said than done. I mean, seriously, this is not easy to get that pegged in. I mean, it requires a ton of force. Take the upper thighs and take the hip sections and fold them down, and then turn the bottom part of the legs so that the screw holes are pointing towards you, like that. And then take the shield and peg these guys into the shield like this. And then this whole section is going to peg into the back of the vehicle mode, like that. Next, take the feet and fold the toes down, and then the toes will peg into the back section of the vehicle mode, this. And there we go. And now for the arms, we take the back of the arms. And now for the arms, we're going to take the forearm and turn it so that the missiles are pointing forward and the landing gear is pointing down. And those will peg in up here. And we did the same thing for the other one. Landing gear pointing down, forearm with the missiles pointing up, turn it, and then just peg it into place. And I got to admit, this all holds together really well, even though it looks really stupid. I mean, this looks real dumb, but it kind of works. It does kind of work. What do you call these? Propellers, yes. Propellers can get pulled up, and they spin freely. And it all kind of works. Yes, I would prefer to have this section painted so that the canopy actually looks like a canopy. But it does work, and it is technically a helicopter. Oh, one last thing. Turn the tail wing around 180 degrees. So yeah, it is technically a helicopter. A really stupid helicopter, but a helicopter nonetheless. All right, let's return everything to their quote-unquote robot modes. I like both of these. I do like both of these, but if I were to buy another figure in the set, I would go with the Ultraman Airforce. And whoops, I just shot the propeller blades that do come off across the room. Just a moment. Where was I? Oh, yes. So I would definitely go for more of the Ultraman Airforce set, as I said. I just think it's a cooler, funner, more fun figure. And since they parts form, you could potentially get some crazy parts formed fun out of this whole set. Because that means that you could potentially combine all three of them together into just a series of monstrosities that I'm there for it. I really am. Yeah, so totally worth picking up. I mean, they're not that expensive. I'll double check. I don't have a computer right in front of me, but I will double check the price, and it will appear at the bottom of the screen for you. I would definitely pick up more of these. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of the motorcycle sets, but I respect their attempt. But motorcycle set looks really good. Like, the paint on this thing is just top quality. I mean, we're talking better than Tobot here. Oh, one thing about when returning it to robot mode, there is a little peg hole in the handlebars. There's a little peg on the motorcycle wheel. So there's that. That is a good touch. Again, the fact that this Rosso doesn't stand up very well, or really can't stand up without some help, is a bummer. Now, how big are these? All right, so here is MP10 Prime, and here is Voyager class Bumblebee movie Prime. And do I have another Prime easily accessible? And we'll go with a Voyager class Earthrise Starscream. Yeah, for the price, these things are good sized and they feel good. They're chunky. Yeah, the motorcycle ones are a little bit of a miss, but definitely consider picking up these Air Force ones. Now, there are three. I hit the camera. There is the Zero helicopter. I'm assuming that's original Ultraman as a plane. And then there's that guy as another plane that looks a little bit more ridiculous than the others. Anyway, I really am strongly considering picking up the other two of these because I really like the Zero one. I think I might do that. Okay, folks, let me know what you think of these figures down in the comments. Be sure to follow the link in the description to 1, my Patreon, where $2 a month will help me keep the lights on, and 2, sirtoys.com, where you can pick up these figures for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you next time.